Hello and welcome to another edition of Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you like this video, please push like and share with your family, friends, neighbors, enemies, etc. Please excuse me. I am sweating. I can't go in and clean up and then do a video because I have about another 2 hours out on this yard and it doesn't make sense. But I had to get a video up or else it wouldn't have been posted for God knows how long. And my intent today was to go up on the trails and shoot a video, but I ended up going rock climbing and trail blazing and popped another tire. That is 3 tires in 4 months. That vehicle behind me is 5 months old. Looks like it's 2 years old. If you own a side-by-side and it's still got all its decals and stickers and they're not scratched, you might be a pussy. Those things are actually made to use, and I use it. But this tire thing, popping these tires, got me going freaking crazy, man. Crazy. I told the people at the dealership, just give me, I wanted to steal something. Oh, those tires are fine. Well, obviously they're not. Anyway, watching children play. It sounds a little creepy, right? So I got to watch the title. Okay, so here's the deal. In 2007, I was transferred from the United States Penitentiary in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, to the Federal Medical Center in Butner, North Carolina for cancer treatments. I was actually flown by a private jet, and when I got off, I was brought right into Butner to the orientation process, and they sent me right up to the 4th floor where I was housed. Butner has elevators, and as soon as I got the elevator open on the 4th floor, there was a guy that I knew from Lewisburg by the name of Jack Menino. Jack Menino is somebody who testified against Danny Fama's brother in a bank robbery. A bunch of you guys in the mob genre might know him. I'll be doing a video about him shortly. But Jack knew me from Lewisburg, and he knew I was coming. And as soon as I walked in, he says, "Come on, I got you all ready." And that's what started my prescription pill binge in that prison. He gave me 4 Percocets, and I went from 4 to 8 to 16 to 24 to 32. It was nuts. But anyway, I also was on Percocets. So Butner back in the day, you come in during orientation and they ask you if you're in pain for whatever reason. I have back pain and bladder cancer, heart issue. But the back pain, yeah, they said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm 8. And they're like, okay, Percocets. I mean, they were just giving everybody narcotics back then. And they would do that for a couple weeks and they'd just shoot you up to oxys. Well, I had a script of perks for pretty much the whole time I was there. But of course, I started using other drugs. Perks in the morning, morphine in the afternoon, fentanyl in the evening. About 4 months into my stay at the FMC, I was given a urine test. I was on the hot list, or what's called prior use, because of the amount of dirties I had, or because I had a dirty. If anybody in the Federal Bureau of Prisons gets a dirty urine, you're on the hot list or prior use list for 2 years. So at the time, I think I got a dirty in 2006. So I still had some time on the hot list. Well, I went in there, and sure enough, I gave them my urine, and I knew it was going to be hot or positive for the Percocets, and I told them what medication I was on and went about my business. About a week later, it was before count, I was called down to the lieutenant's office and informed that I was going to the hole. And I said, for what? He said, for dirty urine. And I said, what do you mean a dirty urine? I'm on Percocets. That would pop dirty. He had me sit in a holding cell. That was a few minutes after 3. About 6 o'clock, he comes back to me and he says, no, they're not for Percocets. They're for, I don't know if it was morphine or whatever the deal was. So I was confused at first, and then I realized, well, I just got cancer removed 4 days ago. So they gave me Dilaudid, morphine, fentanyl. So that's probably what you guys are getting. 3 more hours, I stay in the holding cell. They come back and they say they can't find any records of the medication that I was given during surgery. Therefore, I have to go to the hole. Well, at Butner in the hospital, they didn't use their hole for people that might have gotten in trouble within the hospital. Everybody who got busted for whatever at Butner FMC would get sent across the street to the low. during that time frame. At other time frames, they were sent to Butner FCI too. But the shoe or the hole in Butner FMC is for certain individuals, high-profile Aryan Brotherhood members. The Blind Sheik was in there. Yeah, it's buried way in back of the hospital, and it's not just a segregation unit for people who commit disciplinary infraction. So I was sent across the street to the low. I've never been to a low. When they sent me to the low in the shoe, I remember walking in the cell. They tried to put a cellie in. I immediately refused. I don't take cellies. I didn't take cellies in the shoe anymore. I stopped doing that a long time ago. And I wouldn't take a cellie. Told them to give me a shot if they needed to, or give me a write up for refusing a direct order, which is refusing a cellie. They did. And I was in the cell by myself. And let me tell you something about these cells. I've never been in a cell so awesome. I've been in bigger cells. But this cell had a bunk bed, had a shower, and in the back of the shower, there was a table and like this captain seat. And if you turn around, it was all a window, and you can see out the window, and it's like a view of life. There's a pond where people are fishing. There was a rec center, which I did not realize what it was. I knew I was looking at some kind of a park, but I didn't realize at the time that that was actually Pig Park, or the Staff Recreation Park. I called it Pig Park, and other people started to as well. But that's where the staff, they go work out, train, whatever, and they play baseball. And it was so awesome after being in prison for 10 years at that time and not really seeing outside of a wall. Leavenworth, I didn't see outside the whole time I was in Leavenworth. I never saw civilization. On the top of the bleachers, I was able to see the warden's house. That's it. At Lewisburg, I was in the shoe and I was able to see over the wall and watch the campers. And the campers looked like they, had freedom because there's no walls. But that's the only real bit of civilization I'd ever saw, except being, transported to the hospital and stuff like that. But to actually sit in a cell and look outside and see so much going on, cars, people, it was just amazing. Let me say something. At Lewisburg, I had a cell that it was like a picturesque window, like a postcard, but still I was far, that was in the distance. This was there. Cars right there, people right there. It was amazing. One Saturday morning, I woke up, was listening to NPR. Nurse came, brought my Percocets. I think I saved the dose from the night before. Got my coffee ready and drank it, and waited for the warm fuzzy to happen. Turned around, and all of a sudden, I see kids. 3 little white kids, probably, 6 to 9 years old. And they come out of a car and they go onto a basketball court. One had like a little scooter, the other one had some other kind of toy, and one had a basketball. And I stopped and I looked at these kids, and it dawned on me right then that I had not seen kids or kids playing or about to play since I watched my daughters play in 1997 in August. And right then, so now I'm just starting to get high, the warm fuzzy. I see the kids, reality sets in, and of course there was a sense of sadness. Right about then, here comes 3 more kids, only these kids were black. A little older, all were taller, and they started on one end of the court. They all had basketballs. All 3 of the kids had basketballs, the black kids. They were playing basketball. Then they kind of look over and see these white kids and see that they've got like something else going on, a scooter, some other kind of toy that I don't know. So they go over to the white kids, they start talking for a second. And I saw it before it happened. I wanted to bang on the window. Run, little white kids. They're going to take your shit. Right? Because they were like, what do you got there? And they're all of a sudden, it just within minutes, one of the black kids had the scooter. The other one had the other toy. The other one, even though he had his own ball, had the white kid's ball. And the white kids are just sitting there, and the black kids go take off to the other end of the court. Man, I laughed so freaking hard. I'm like, it's just like prison. Right? Black kids want to steal everything. I'm joking, African American friends. Well, I did think that. I was laughing like that. But and people that have been in the joint, it's not, blacks don't take everything, but they're the majority in prison. But it was like, yeah, it was comical, and it was just a trip. Finally, you know, after some time, the kids all started mingling and playing together and stuff. And I probably sat and watched those kids at least 3 hours until they were gone. And it was just, I mean, that sounds kind of creepy. I get it. Yeah, and I know that there's people that hate me. I'll have a lot to say about that. Fuck them. It was amazing in the end. Just being able to see kids being kids in a park when I'm doing a life sentence, even though I was in a low security facility. You know, again, there was always that, you know, life sentence over me, life without the possibility of release. I was supposed to die in prison. And yeah, it was just such a trip. And I thought about that a couple days ago, and I wrote it down like I had to tell this story. Some people that done a lot of time can relate. Others would be like, this is a bore, this isn't a real good prison story. But to me, it was one of those moments in prison. It was just like, wow. And it also made me realize, you know, that even though there was times I thought I was a good father, because I was a criminal, I was not. And yeah, so it just made me do a lot of reflecting. Hurt too, but it was also really good. And I stayed there for 65 days until they found me not guilty based on the drugs provided by the hospital. 65 days. And I loved it because there was that big window view. And it wasn't about watching kids. It was just the whole thing. That day, those kids played and I watched them. But I like to watch people fish, just staff coming in and out, just life going on. There was like life right there, you know. And it was a trip. So tomorrow's video is probably going to be about when a female nurse tried to throw down on me, and I said no. Like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm going to. Yeah, I think I'm gonna talk about it. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. When I told my wife the story, she said, "You're such a bitch." Yeah. So tomorrow, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna do a live at some point, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. And if you missed any of my videos earlier, my announcement earlier, don'tbeajimmy.com and don'tbeajimmy.org are mine. I got to put a website up. I got the confirmation from the patent office on Don't Be a Jimmy. Cost me $500 freaking dollars that I don't have. And but I got it locked in. So it's on. Got to get the t-shirt thing. When Barta comes home, I'll find out about memberships. Everybody's saying, how do we do these memberships? Man, I think YouTube's supposed to approve us. Matter of fact, I'll call Chad. I'll call Chad Marks and ask him. The t-shirts, give me just a second. We're almost there. And I might do it off a different website. I got a whole different thing going, what I want to do with don'tbeajimmy.org. I think I want to make a nonprofit out of it. Use the money from the t-shirts and other stuff that I'm going to do. So I don't know, maybe like find guys in prison like they're rats. I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. Thanks for your support. I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm sure I'll get a lot of people that did not, and they'll be talking cash shit. Oh well. Have a good one.